Welcome to the Outstanding Women Leaders Podcast, or OWLS.
We give a hoot.
I'm your host, Kristen, a former journalist turned young stroke survivor, now hustling to make my dream of becoming a national speaker come true. I'm currently jobless, but not loveless. I have a 5-year-old Frenchie named Vaca, which means cow in Spanish. She is the love of my life and my motivation every morning to wake up and work. I want to buy her a house with a big backyard because she says this apartment life is not for her. I'm accompanied by my resilient and quirky co-host, Katie Eads, who, like a cat, has 9 lives when it comes to careers and relationships. Girl, really quick, introduce yourself.
Thanks, Kristen. As Kristen said, I am your quirky, she forgot to mention, hilarious co-host and founder.
I always forget to mention that part.
I know. It's fine. I know you mean it. And founder of Owl Professional Coaching. Owl Professional Coaching is super excited because we are teaming up with Kristen, actually, and we are hosting a workshop in honor of our 12th episode. We are super excited to announce today that we are hosting a workshop, and there's only 10 spaces in this workshop. We will sell out. And so today, if you go through the end of the episode, I'm going to tell you how you can get signed up. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Or do we
make it to the end? God bless you.
You make it to the end. God bless you. You can also, though, just head over to our Instagram at Outstanding Women Leaders or follow us on Facebook, Outstanding Women Leaders, and you can get some more information on that as well. So yeah, about me, though, I forgot I was supposed to talk about me.
That's your favorite thing to do?
That is my favorite thing to do. My new favorite thing is now to talk about our workshop. But a little bit about me. I am 37, divorced, no longer on the dating apps because I had decided to meet a man of my life, love him. If I don't kill him through Corona, 2 months into dating, and we've been Corona teens.
That's our subject next week.
Yes, stay tuned. Quarreling in Corona. It's going to be a great episode. Just no worries, guys. Things are probably still going great. We're going to see if we make it till next week.
Oh, stop it. He's a lovely man.
So far, so good. And so anyways, enough about me. Today, Outstanding Women Leaders podcast hopes to inspire you to be your bold, brave, authentic self and share your superpowers with the community.
If you're ready to laugh and feel the presence of faith in your life and hear the F-bomb a few times, then let's get started. Let's get started.
So we are continuing to celebrate Survivor Week here on the podcast in honor of Kristen surviving a stroke and recovering this past year. She was paralyzed, but today she's running around Denver with Vaca, which is a true miracle. It's crazy to think that this time last year that she wasn't.
So yesterday we heard from my sisters, and today we're going to talk to my dear friend, Liz Kotalik. She was my advocate in the ER and the ICU and was really there for me before my family was able to get there. I'm so thankful for her friendship, love, and support during this last year. Now, Liz is a brilliant and talented anchor and reporter here in Denver, and she's also an upcoming YouTube star.
I forgot to mention Owl Outstanding Women Leaders is also on YouTube. I'm just trying to say Owl Professional Coaching now, but so is she. Sorry, I had to make that about us.
We'll touch more on Liz's channel. It's super cute. You have to check it out. She has a huge personality and an even a bigger heart, which is why I love her so much.
I don't think I've ever been introduced that nicely before.
What? Yes, you have.
No, brilliant. I don't know that anybody's ever called me brilliant, but I'll take it.
People suck.
I will take it.
You're very talented. Stop
I am so excited to hear from you and your perspective. So I actually have gone through something similar to you. My ex-husband had kidney failure and chemo and kidney transplant. And I was there when you went in and I had to make the phone calls to the parents. And I'm just so curious to hear what it was like for you because I know how hard it is to be in those shoes and to be on the other side. And I'm sure you wanted to kill a few doctors. I know I did. So I want to hear all about this.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know where to start. I mean, so we knew something was wrong because Kristen and my fiance, Ryan, they were co-anchors on the weekend show. And Ryan started texting me when he was at the station saying, Kristen's not showing up. So I start texting and calling Kristen and she's not answering and she's not answering my texts or my calls. And we thought that she was napping. But things started after, which is normal, but it wasn't normal for her to be that late. I think at that point, it was like 2 hours later, something crazy.
Mhm.
And I knew that she and Jordan, our friend Jordan, were really good friends. So I texted him and he's like, yeah, I haven't talked to her. I have no idea what's going on. And so long story short, and at least that part of the story, it ended up that Eddie, our friend Eddie, and Kristen's boyfriend went over to her apartment and banging on her door. And finally they had to call EMTs and they took her to the hospital. So Jordan and I rushed to the ER. We were originally thinking this had to have been something like a stroke. Everything that we had heard about how she was talking through the door and wouldn't get up. I mean, it all sounded very weird, but she's young, she's healthy. We knew that she had just gone to work out that morning. And so we get to the ER and I mean, you could talk to Kristen. She still had her lashes on. She was getting ready for work, so she still looked fabulous. And she seemed normal, but the left side of her face was drooping and she was still kind of like a little lethargic. But the ER nurses were basically telling us not to worry about it and that this was probably a complex migraine and that she was going to be fine. They had just done was it an MRI that they did first, Kristen?
Well,
I know you remember, but
I think it might have been an MRI, but was it the CAT scan they didn't give me for 8 hours?
yeah, so they did the MRI and you know, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about anything. Like you call me brilliant, but I'm definitely not brilliant in this realm of things. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I just had to trust these people and they told me complex migraine. I looked it up and yeah, it can present as a stroke and it would make more sense for somebody like Kristen. So they did the MRI and they didn't see any bleeding, any major bleeding. So they figured, okay, it definitely wasn't a major stroke. So it's a complex migraine. So at this point, we're all like starting to calm down a little bit. I get on the phone with Kristen's parents, which I know I didn't do anything wrong, but I still feel so bad being like, she's fine. It was not a stroke. Like, it's totally okay. Like, calm down. And
relaying the information that you had.
Yeah.
I was, but still, like, looking back on it, anyway. So then, like, we're in there for hours. And, like, we order pizza. Like, we are all there forever. And finally, it's around like 11 o'clock at night. Ryan gets off work. He had come and visited us in between shows. And we're like, okay, we're going to go and we're going to sleep and we'll come back and see her in the morning. And we get back home and we weren't home for 10 minutes. And we got the call from, it was either Eddie or Jordan saying she had a stroke, multiple small strokes. And it was like, wait a second, what? And so we go back and she's now in the ICU. And we're all starting to ask ourselves, wait, why did it take this long? And we had done stories about how there are certain shots that you can get and things that can be done immediately after you have a stroke that would have helped in certain types of stroke situations. So then automatically, like, we go from being sad to worried to mad. How did this happen? And then it brought me back to this time in the ER where they were carting Kristen off and to go to another, I think it was a scan or something. And I said, are you sure, like, that this isn't a stroke? Are you sure? And the nurse was just like, well, she says she can't move her arm, but we saw it move a little bit. Like, implying that,
ridiculous.
Yeah, like implying that my friend is faking it, which I didn't think that she was, but I didn't want to think my friend had a stroke. So I just was like, okay, good. Her arm is moving. Like, but then if you think about it, you see her face drooping. You hear about everything that happened. You hear about how she was acting. She can't move her left side of her body. How did they not immediately assume that this was a stroke? So I got mad pretty quickly. And then I got even more upset when we called our friend, Dr. Camilla, and told her about everything the next day. And she was furious. And then I just got like sad because I'm like, I did not do a good job being an advocate for my friend in the ER. I know, but like, you know, you hear that kind of stuff, and you hear about how wrong it was, and you just wish you would have asked more questions, done more research. But yeah, I mean, thank God you're okay, because we really did not know what the implications of all of this were going to be. We didn't know if you were going to walk. And I think all of us felt this kind of responsibility for that, you know, because we were all there in the beginning stages when we could have asked more questions. So I think what I've learned from this whole experience is that you cannot take things at face value. If you've got a gut feeling in the ER or wherever, and with any doctor, if you've got a gut feeling, you've got to just go with it and ask more questions and push for things that you know are right.
Yeah.
I mean, hearing that story kind of makes me upset, but really I just feel like it doesn't matter. Like, this was my path and nothing was going to change like what path I was walking on. And this is just what happened. This was like
That's
God.
why I love Kristen, because that's her attitude about everything. I, on the other hand, my blood's boiling. I had the opposite experience when we went in. We had the doctor call and say, pack a bag. You're going to be at the hospital while your kidneys are failing. And like, he had just gone to the doctor for a physical, so we didn't think his kidneys were failing. And they told us, the interns told us that his heart was failing and it was causing his kidneys to fail. And so I had to call his parents, who were 5 hours away, and tell them that their oldest son at 28 was having heart failure, and it was causing his organs to shut down.
Mm.
And then when the real doctors got there in the morning, they said, no, the kidneys have been failing for so long that there's so much fluid, it's caused the heart to enlarge. And they pulled off 40 pounds of fluid. And then it was like, okay, well, we can find kidneys. There's dialysis, like hearts. Somebody has to die. So I cannot imagine how you must have felt with the phone call and how hard it is to have to call and tell someone's parents that news. It's tough. I didn't sleep for 72 hours. I don't know about you, and if you were able to sleep that night. I know that I got lost. I couldn't find my home. I lived on Michigan Avenue, and the hospital was on Michigan Avenue. I needed to go south, and I could not figure out how to get on Lakeshore going south. I was that distraught, and also just that lack of sleep for 72 hours. And I picked up the phone to call him, and then I started crying, and then I couldn't get lost. But how did you do the next week, the next few days? What was work like for you? I know how hard it is to be on the other side of that.
Yeah, it was surreal. I mean, we obviously didn't get a lot of sleep. That happened on a Saturday. So then we all had Sunday, and we were at the hospital on Sunday. And then the rest of the week was really just about getting Kristen and her family everything that they needed. And it was just every day was just about coordinating. And another thing I feel bad about is, and I think all of us feel like we did this, we smothered. We were like, what do you need? We gave these people so much food. Like, we had
Much food.
Ridiculous. We had shifts, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I had set it all up. I'm like, okay, you're doing breakfast, you're doing lunch.
You guys are amazing.
Breakfast, lunch, and then
The whole newsroom was in the hospital, the ER, basically.
Everybody would bring just pounds and pounds and pounds of food.
That's why
poor people.
Honestly, though, it is such a relief. I know, I was hardly home just to have a real food. My mom, when she had her heart attack, we lived at a hospital for 2 months. I gained 15 pounds. That's amazing. You're amazing.
I mean, it was a lot. It was after a few days where I was texting your dad, hey, you have to come and let these people in because they're giving you this and this and this. And your dad's like, it's okay. I'm like, no, we're giving it to you. It was after a week. Food. It was after a week that I was like, okay, we should probably scale this down a little bit, because
it was really amazing to have that support, because we're very close to my extended family back in Chicago. So this is stuff that we would have with our extended family, and for my parents to come here to Denver where they didn't know anybody, they only knew the people I was close with. And I think for them, that made them feel very supported too, which was important, because they're flying here not knowing anybody other than their daughter, who they just got told had a stroke. It's just nuts. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've always said that, like, this journey, I was never alone. I've had my parents have gone through certain mental things, and so have my friends. I mean, Liz, I've had like some of my most vulnerable moments with Liz. Like one time I couldn't zipper my pants and I was like, or I couldn't button it. And that could be like, I think a lot, just my personality. I was like, all right, it's just Liz, you know, I'm like, can you help me? But for some people that could be very like traumatizing to be that vulnerable. But I'm just blessed that I've surrounded myself with just like really uplifting and people who support me, that I was like, whatever, I tried to fucking button these pants and I couldn't. And I was like, Liz, I need you to button my pants. And it sucks, but it's just like, that's all I could do is ask for help.
Yeah. And I think another thing that I learned in all of that was we have a really great group of friends, and we are so lucky. I know, at that time I was having a hard time at work, and, things were stressful, and then all of that happened. And the silver lining was Ryan and I were able to see the kind of support system that we had here. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is the reason why we're here. We're here because of all these amazing people who we've just met, and not just met, but we've been friends with for a short period of time. But look at what we've been able to create in this short period of time. We're family. And even people who like I'm now closer to, but at the time wasn't as close with, I know that if anything were to happen to me, I don't have family here. I know that I'm going to be surrounded by like a dozen people who all are going to be there for me with anything that I need. And so that's something that I learned from that too, and can really appreciate from that, is that we have a really, really great group of friends.
Yeah, it's been a blessing, 100%. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. It's been so nice to like send you a picture of my ponytail and be like, look at this, which it might seem very like simple or silly to some people, but I mean, you guys knew how difficult it was for me to do my hair. So even now when I'm like, look at this ponytail, you guys are like, yes. And
well, it wasn't even a part, like, do your hair. I remember we started getting videos from you just moving your finger. Those were some of the first videos that we got from you, and Ryan and I'd be like, look at Kristen, like we'd be like on our couch like, oh my gosh, look at Kristen. We were celebrating you moving your finger. So right. Yeah, I mean,
it's been so amazing to be able to send those videos and not feel dumb, because you guys were with me, so I knew you knew how important those little moments were, even if it is just like a little finger wiggle.
It was huge. It was huge. And then when you started walking, when you would walk with the I don't know what it was called. You were like holding on.
Yeah, it was like a walker.
Oh my gosh, but it was like a track almost. You were on a track or something.
Oh yeah, that machine.
Yeah. That was incredible. I mean, how far you've come. I mean, I know that you acknowledge it a lot, but I hope you really can appreciate it every day, because I think back on that time, you could have died. We didn't know what was happening with you. And here you are. And it's truly incredible.
It's a miracle for sure. I mean, this whole week I've kind of been trying to look back at my journal entries and just the things that I was like praying for and dealing with. It's just like night and day. If anybody would have told me last year at this time, like, Kristen, you're going to be fine. You're going to be living by yourself. You're going to have a dog. I'd be like, yeah, okay, no way. And now here I am. It's like I'm working out every day. I'm trying to get 2 workouts in because homegirl is getting thick.
You're crazy.
You are
so crazy.
Beautiful.
But it's just like a blessing that I'm even able to do like squat jumps and things like that, where I couldn't even get out of bed by myself. I had to have help to pee. It was horrible.
Do you remember me helping you pee? You might not, because this was in the ER.
Oh wait, I think maybe didn't I? I was like, get all the boys out of here.
Yes. And we had to put the pan under.
Yeah. It was so hard to pee that I just remember I was like, just put a catheter in, please.
Yes.
I was like, yes. No, but I can't. Those bed pans are like this big. Like, who's that made for?
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never had that experience.
Well, I hope you never do. It's awful. The
Well,
pants.
you didn't want to have the experience. When I told you, I'm like, we might have to do a bedpan. You're like, no, just put a catheter in. I'm like, they're not going to do, you have to try the bedpan first. And you're like, oh, fine. And then finally you're just like, just give me the catheter. And I think
I mean,
they ended up
can I ask, like, how great is a catheter, right? I've
Well, it's
heard they're pretty
awful.
great. No, like you just pee all the time. It's just great. You never have to get up to go to the bathroom.
No, it's
I
not
knew men were
great.
lazy. I've had 2 men tell me the catheters are great because they can just pee all the time.
No,
painful.
I don't want.
It
It's
also looks like a
uncomfortable.
hot dog on a stick.
I wouldn't say it's painful. I wouldn't say that's the most painful thing I went through, but it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
Ugh.
even like, I still felt like I was uncomfortable trying to pee. Like I just wanted to pee.
Ugh.
And look at you now.
Now I can
Squat
pee by myself,
jumping.
Peeing by yourself. You're a big girl now.
all by myself. It's a big deal.
You know what I love about Kristen's story? I learned this yesterday. We talk about superpowers on here, and Kristen's superpower is empowering women. She's inspirational, but her other superpower is just her tremendous faith and her absolute trust that whatever God has in store for her is what He wants. And I just find that amazing. And Kristen, I'm going to ask you, what's Liz's superpower?
I think Liz's superpower is she always laughing, or I guess maybe like having fun. I think I've never not been with Liz and haven't laughed. Like, she's just fun. It doesn't matter what the situation is, it's fun. She'd pick me up after therapy and be like, girl, I fucking fell today. And we just laugh the whole way home. And I think that's a real gift for not just someone who's sick, but for anybody. Like, if you had a bad day and I need to pick me up, like, I know I can call Liz and we will laugh about something. She's always laughing. She's a huge smile, a huge heart, and not everybody can muster up that humor. And I think that's a gift. I mean, when I first got my dog, she was the first person I called. I FaceTimed her. I'm like, come over, look what I got. She was like, oh my God, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
I'm like, what is that? What are you doing?
Yeah, she's like, what did you do? I'll be right there.
That's sweet. Thanks, Kristen.
Liz, what is Kristen's superpower?
Oh my gosh. I think I don't even know where to start. What is
I know
Kristen's
she has so
superpower?
many.
No, but are you kidding me? I think your ability to empower everybody, not just women, but anybody. Like, talk about having someone, if you're in a bad place, having someone to call and then making you feel better. I mean, don't just make me feel better, but you'll then make me feel like I'm a superhero. Like, you have this ability to build people up like I haven't seen anywhere. And
I love that so much. Thank you.
but it's the truth.
It is true. I always feel better after talking to Kristen.
And it's sometimes,
Always.
most times it's not even me like reaching out to Kristen and asking for it. I'll, be on Instagram and I'll just, do something stupid on Instagram. And she's like, you're the best. Nobody is better than you. You are going to win this day. And I'm like, oh, I didn't ask for that, but I kind of needed it. And she didn't even know. And here we are. So
but I really believe those things about you.
I know
guys.
you
like,
do.
I would
know.
never just say that. I mean, maybe, but when I send those things out, it's like, I really think that. Like, Liz is super funny on social media. You guys will have to plug her at the end.
Yes. Well, how do we follow you? I'm going to get my phone out right now. How do we follow Liz on social?
Okay. So Instagram, it's my name, Liz Kotalik, Kotalik. And then if you just put that into any other social media, you'll find me.
Well, while we're talking about social, tell us about YouTube and how you guys get started with this.
Okay, so my fiance Ryan and I are both in the television industry, and out of kind of like we were both kind of going through a slump, and we were just both feeling like we weren't, really doing what we wanted to do, and like we wanted to have fun, and we didn't have weekends together. And finally, Ryan was able to get the same weekends off as me. And so we were like, we have to do something fun every single weekend. And we're both very like creative sorts of people. Like, we like doing, videos and editing and that kind of stuff. So we're like, well, why don't we just make something fun? And so we had this plan of every weekend we were going to do something fun and different, and we were just going to record our experiences doing stupid things. So like we went camping, which was a nightmare, but it was a good video, I guess.
It's really funny video.
Did it all for
No
the
way.
video.
She said camping. We were all like, this girl is fucked.
I am not a camper, but we made it work. And so we just kind of have been doing fun stuff around Colorado, and now we're in a weird position with quarantine that we're like, well, what are we supposed to do for YouTube content now? But we have a bunch of fun stuff that's already up from when life was normal. So.
And you guys also, really quick, so people know why it was so important for you guys to have weekends off. You dated for like 7 years and were long distance.
Yeah, so we met in college, and then Ryan graduated 6 months before I did. He went to Tucson, and then we both started working in Tucson. So we were together for the first part of our relationship, and then he moved here to Denver. And then for the next 3 or 4 years, we were long distance. And I finally got here, and then we were together, but then we had completely opposite schedules. So the fact that now we're in the same place and have the same weekends together is humongous. So
super rare in TV.
Yes, very rare in TV. So yeah.
That's great. And congratulations on your engagement. I've heard Corona has also put a pause on the wedding. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
When were you supposed to get married?
March 21st.
Oh, my birthday's the 29th. So we spent that week on quarantine.
Yeah.
That was the early stages. You almost made it.
Let's decide to cancel the wedding, because I know it's like your dream wedding, right?
Yeah. And we canceled a week before, and that's when it was really starting to get bad. At that point, there weren't any stay-at-home orders or anything like that. So it was the Sunday before, and the CDC had said that they weren't recommending people have gatherings over 50 people. And so we were just trying to figure out, was it worth, still having this wedding and having 50 people in a room, or should we just cancel? And we just, at that point, decided to cancel or postpone. And so we are having to wait another year, which in the grand scheme of things is not a big deal, but you can imagine that was a lot.
I mean, I know you guys have been very vocal about being like, we know our problems aren't big compared to others, but I think you're still valid in being upset that you had to cancel your wedding with someone you've been waiting to get married to for literally almost a decade.
Yeah. It's
You're allowed to be upset. I know it's you. I know you're just trying to be humble and like, I know other people are dying, and it's true, but you can be upset that you had to cancel your dream wedding.
I mean, I'm pissed off about my 37th birthday. I'm just kidding. I had a great birthday.
No, but I mean, I think, and especially now looking back and even looking forward, this is affecting all of us in some way or another. I mean, your birthday, my wedding, somebody's freaking funeral, nobody can go. People are having funerals for their grandparents and they can't go to them. So I know that I'm valid, but I also think that you have to keep perspective or you're going to go crazy. And so we've just decided, like, we have little moments, like recently I've had some moments where, you hear the news about what's going on and vaccines and if we're going to even be okay in 2021. And so then you get these sorts of moments of, am I never going to have this wedding that I've always wanted? But you just can't think that way. And how we've decided to deal with it is we just laugh about it. We're just like, we've always called Ryan Charlie Brown because Charlie Brown things always happen to him. And this is just another Charlie Brown moment. The universe just pulling that football away from him. But poor Ryan.
I love that Charlie Brown moments.
Yeah.
So what's the plan for the wedding then?
So the plan is March 6th at this point. Same place and everything, same vendors, hopefully. And we're just gonna cross our fingers that there's a vaccine or something and that we can keep doing this.
Are there gonna be new invites or what's happening with that?
So yeah, we're gonna send out. How else do people know to come?
I don't know. Follow you.
Oh my gosh, no, there will be invites. My mother would not allow a wedding without the proper
Liz's mom and her
invitation.
sister are both wedding planners, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They planned like this beautiful. I wasn't going to be able to go this year, but I think I can go next year.
There you go. It's perfect.
Where are you getting married?
In Scottsdale. Yeah.
Nice.
So it'll be hopefully amazing. We'll see. But I
Yes.
can't, Ryan keeps reminding me I can't think that far ahead right now in terms of like negative stuff. So we're just putting it out there into the universe that this is going to happen.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, a postponed marriage is far better than a divorce. So you're doing just fine. You should pick you did right with the husband choice. Not so great with the date, maybe a little earlier in March, but
Yeah, we'll see. I just can't I can't believe it. I can't believe all of this. This is crazy.
It's going to be amazing. And as Kristen would tell you, God has a plan. Kristen gets to go now. And if that is not reason enough to postpone your goddamn wedding, I can't think of a better reason.
So I can make it to the wedding.
Absolutely.
I was going to say worth it. It's definitely not worth it. This COVID stuff is not worth it at all.
I saw this really funny meme. It was like on a Mexican account or a Latino account. Like, my mom just told me that God sent COVID because I go out too much. I'm like, that is so something my mother would say. So the girl was like, sorry, y'all.
Oh my God. That's awful. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Something, my mother would say, like, watch. That's why God sent this pandemic.
I love it. Liz, thank you so much for coming on today. This was so great. I loved hearing all about your love for Kristen and how you were there for her.
She's the best.
Thank you so much. We have a couple more really important questions before we let you go. Okay. Most important question we're going to ask you probably of the entire day is what's your favorite drink?
Like alcohol drink?
Yes.
Margarita.
I was going to say that.
Spicy, Margarita. Not spicy?
I'll do either. But if I had to pick, spicy.
Kristen, we should play this game actually before our guests come on where you guess what their favorite drink is.
That's a good idea.
And then you can hold up your card to see if it's a match.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cute.
Very inventive over here. Okay, so I lied. So the most important I was thinking on the fly and I was slow. The most important question I actually am going to ask you today is, are you planning on attending the OWL workshop? That's right. Kristen and I give a hoot about you so much. We'd love for you to, we're going to give everybody 50% off this workshop. So we're super excited. Hey, yo, who doesn't like to save money? And so the most important, especially now. And so the most important question we're going to ask you today is, are you going to be joining us for a workshop called Be Bold, Be Brave in 2020?
Well, it's not like I have some sort of other thing that I have to do on Saturday and Sunday. So sure.
I love it. So next week, and if anybody is interested in joining us, there are only 10 spaces. Now there's only 9. Only 9. And so if anybody would like to join us, you can text this number. So 81010. Text at OWL Do It. That's OWLDOIT.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Nike has Just Do It. We have I'll Do It. I'm sure at some point when we make it big, Nike will have their day in court. We'll delete this episode.
I hope so.
Right, we're going to sell out this workshop, so we're halfway there.
Attorney's fees with this 10 spaces, so everybody better show up.
Exactly. So just to give you a little bit of taste of what's going to be happening in this workshop, we're going to be, Kristen is going to be giving one of her amazing transformational speeches to get people fired up about the future, because it can be really easy right now to feel stuck in what was or what should have been. And so Kristen's going to get us in that right frame of mind. And then I'm going to lead us through a coaching exercise on a life wheel, of taking a look at where are some areas where we feel like we're at a 1, 2, or 3 in our life where we'd like to be a little bit better. Where are areas that we have some higher satisfaction? And then everyone's going to get to experience a mini coaching session in one of those areas of their life. And so Kristen got to do it right before this show. We should have recorded it because it was not planned. It worked out perfectly. And that's what I love about coaching because it's so organic.
I'm a solid one on the wheel of life for everything.
So you have a wonderful boyfriend. That's not true. So
he is
Kristen
the best.
said she was at a 2 for her career. She's fired. So that'll do it. But she's got a podcast, so she was at a 2. And so Kristen,
I have a dog, so yeah, things are looking
we're just looking at career on the wheel of life. So I asked Kristen, what would move you from a 2 to a 3 on your career wheel? And Kristen said, making some money. And I asked her, well, how much would make you feel like you went like 10 grand? And she's like, well, no, that's a 10. So Kristen, what will you tell us the number it will take for you to move from a 2 to a 3 on your career?
A simple move, $500.
$500. It'll help her pay for her microphone, the video. That's all Kristen wanted. So if
I'm selling my couch for, like, come on.
She's selling her. I mean, she's literally selling the farm, guys. She can't afford her life. And so I work a nonprofit. I'm exploiting you now as this child that needs help.
I'm selling my furniture because I don't want to pack it up.
All right. And all jokes aside, though, we do have this workshop next week. There's a Saturday and there's a Sunday. And if we sell out, there's 10 spaces in each workshop. Now there's only 9 in one of the workshops. Kristen will have made that $500 and she will have moved from a 2 to a 3. And I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to sell this amazing workshop that we're going to put on that's 50% off. Did I mention that? I'm saying it because it's really great and it's clearly pretty powerful stuff because Kristen's on her way already with this person in our workshop.
Yeah, moving from a 2 to a 3.
Moving from a 2 to a 3.
Well, before we finish, Liz, I do ask everyone one question. What's advice that you would give your younger self?
To accept that everything is going to change, that you might have some plan and it's good to have goals, but your path will change and it's okay. And you have to make the best out of it. I think that's what I would say.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's a great place to end. Far better than my cheesy sales pitch on our workshop. Liz, thank you so much.
Liz, I love you so much. You're the best.
I love you. You're the best.
I can't wait to spend time with you again in our workshop next week.
Yes. Woo woo.
You're the best. Thank you. Love you. I'll call you later.
Bye.
Okay. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.